Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hustle Basketball Talk. I'm joined today by Weber State forward Dillon Jones. Dillon, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First question is growing up in Columbia, South Carolina, I want to know what the basketball scene was like out there for you, and at what age you really fell in love with the game and started playing competitively.
Growing up in South Carolina it was a good experience when it comes to basketball because I think a lot of people are starting to figure out now that a lot of good players are coming out of not just the South and like Atlanta and Georgia and all those places, but Columbia and South Carolina in general. We got a lot of good players and good basketball going on around there. So it was a good experience because those guys that are making it now are like some people that I learned from before people knew who they actually were.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was good though. I have an older brother that's about 8 years older than me, so he played basketball right now. He's still playing professionally, and it was good because I would kind of just followed him, and I just kind of that's where I kind of like found my love for the game, kind of because I just want to be like him. I come from a single parent home, so that
Mhm.
was kind of like my father figure. So yeah, so with that, that's just where I kind of really started. And a lot of people tell me when I was younger, I just from watching so many games, my IQ was just growing. Then they used
Yeah,
to say when I was younger, I used to ask some questions that I shouldn't be asking, and they'd be like, "How you know that? Like you're so young and stuff." Like
yeah.
that's what people used to tell me when I was younger. So I guess it just carried with me now. So it was a good experience though.
That's awesome, man. And then in high school, you led your team in South Carolina to a 3A state championship. And then your senior season, you transferred, you went to a prep school, Sunrise Christian Prep in Kansas. What was that experience like leaving home, going to Kansas, and then competing at the prep level? And then also the recruiting process just coming out of a prep school.
Yeah. First winning a state championship at Keenan was dope.
Yeah,
Obviously, like I mentioned, my brother won two state championships before me. So when
oh,
I
that's
was
awesome.
younger, I just wanted to go to Keenan. It was kind of like a tradition thing.
Yeah,
Tradition is big at Keenan. So I just wanted to really go there a lot. And winning the state championship was good. Just being able to play home, just in front of everybody. When I went to Sunrise, I definitely like appreciated it more, for what it
yeah,
meant. Because like a lot of times when you're in the moment, you kind of just take some things for granted. Obviously, just being young, just how it was. So the experience was good though, but obviously I took my talent to Sunrise the next year, and I could just like describe that move to people that obviously don't know. It's just like a chess move in my career.
mhm,
It was a good experience for me to grow up as a player, as a person. I was able to learn so much about myself on the court, outside the court. I gained friends and uh, playing with lottery picks and all that stuff. It
yeah,
was just a great experience overall, just to learn more about myself and on the game. And it was probably like one of the first times in my career. It was definitely probably the most humbling point of my career for sure. Just not saying I wasn't a good player there, but it was the first time I wasn't the best player. I wasn't the
yeah.
featured player. So it kind of turned me into the person I am today because I don't take it for granted when I'm, in roles like I'm in now and stuff. So it was good. You asked me about the recruiting process. It was definitely crazy because obviously when I was in South Carolina, I was probably like a top two or three player in the state. So I had a lot of like offers and stuff, and especially like on the East Coast and stuff. But when I went to Sunrise, a lot of those schools fell off, honestly, and I played like a lot of my senior year without like having like a lot of standing offers.
Yeah.
Um, I
How
mean,
was that for you mentally? Like,
it was in the moment it was tough
yeah,
because I never really wanted to like let my decision take a long time. I kind of
mhm,
wanted to just get it over with before the season, but that wasn't the boat I was in anymore. I didn't have no offers, and my coaches was trying to get me recruited, and Coach Luke and everybody they just did a good job at just trying to relax me, and because they knew how serious I took basketball, and is the worst thing that could have happened was for me to, I was just stressing about it because they knew I wanted to be good.
yeah.
They did a good job at relaxing me and, just telling me that everything's going to be okay because they knew that I was a good player and I would find my way.
That's
So,
awesome.
but like I said, I played a lot of the year without any offers. And then, um, I mean, towards the end of the year, like obviously when the spring came, that's kind of when I heated up.
Mhm.
And we were going to play in the Geico National Championship, but then COVID hit, and we were like the #3 team in the country. And I was starting. I didn't have no offers, so I was really in panic mode then. And but I mean, in the spring I heated up. I got a couple offers and stuff, but and then Weber called me, and then it kind of when they called me, it kind of wasn't. It was a hard decision because I was talking to a lot of schools, but it kind of like makes sense now why I chose it. Like so it
What
was
was
a
the
good.
most attractive thing to you about Weber State?
Um, the most attractive thing was that um, their not their experience, but uh,
History?
their history.
Yeah.
Perfect word for it. Their history of putting out pros.
For
Because
sure.
like me becoming a play, like playing basketball, I'm not like one of those players that's just playing just to play or just don't really
Trying to
love
feed
it.
your
Whatever.
family.
Yeah, I'm trying to play to the highest, as high as I can go because I
Yeah.
want to, like you said, feed my family. And like obviously at Weber, everybody knows Dame. Granted,
Well, bowling boy.
right, but obviously, like when I was young, like I was young, but I still was being so smart about my decision. I was looking. I knew everybody before I came, like all the good players that was pros. I knew like Ballin Boy, Bamford,
Yep.
Singleton, Barry, Harding, and I was Kendall Hill, a bunch more
Mhm.
that came before then. But that's just the ones off the top of my head. But I knew like who they were before I came, and I was like, okay, like I was like, they're putting out a bunch of like pros. I'm like, okay, everybody knows Dame, but they're showing that they like are putting people out.
Yeah.
That's really all I really cared about. Obviously, I knew where I was going, wherever I went, I was going to win games. So, and obviously, Coach Ray's record of him being there for 15 years, I didn't have to worry about him possibly getting fired. And
Right, that speaks to itself.
yeah, he was the all-time leading
Mhm.
in wins and all that. I mean, he had the Big Sky on lock. So with all that just coming in, it just kind of was a no-brainer, honestly. Because a lot of schools that was recruiting me, like at the time, like Dayton had just came out the Obi Toppin year, but
Mhm.
like Grand Canyon and stuff like they were kind of just trying to get their engine revved up, and I
Yeah.
kind of didn't have time to like take any guess. I had to like go with what I knew what was for sure, and what was going to that basically what has been done. I had to go what was been done. Now I'm just gonna be next in line. That's how I looked at it.
And that's
So
good. Yeah, you did your research.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's good, man. And then your experience there thus far, you've been there 2 seasons. You got the extra year of eligibility, right, because of COVID.
Right.
And so you won Big Sky Freshman of the Year last year. You had a terrific freshman year, and
Mm-hmm.
then you're having an even better year this year, averaging a double double, career high numbers, and you're also 19 wins right now at this point in the season. So you're having a great season. What would you attest to that leap? What do you think has really put you over to that next level this season?
Um, well, the first like the freshman of the year was obviously cool to get. But especially me coming off the bench. Like last year, I only started 3 games. And obviously you don't really see freshmen winning, especially coming off the bench. But it just goes to show you like I guess how the coaches and everybody felt around me in the league. They just thought that I was obviously the best freshman. So that was dope. But I just think the leap that I made, honestly, it was bound to happen. And I'm not saying that to be cocky at all, but it's like, um, when you put the work in, you get your results. Like I'm a firm believer in that. Like I'm not just somebody that just talk a good game and say that I work the hardest, but I really be at home chilling. I don't. That's not who I am. That's
Yeah.
never been who I am. Like this summer, like obviously, like I've worked hard like in past summers and stuff because I wouldn't be here if I didn't. But like this summer was by far my best summer with everything. Like I had like obviously I went home like after the season. I went home briefly for like 3 weeks, but then
Yeah.
I came right back out here because I knew what I wanted to do
Back to
in
work.
this year. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take it for granted. I didn't think that I was going to be able to just make the jump just by being Dillon Jones. I knew I had to put the work in behind it to be able to do it, and that was my mindset. And so like I wasn't really home at all this past summer.
Yeah.
I went home briefly, talked to my mom or whatever. trying to, just stay, obviously you got to talk to your mom and stuff.
Yeah,
So
100%, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I had to go home and, talk to my mom. But after that, it was back to work. That's how I looked at it. I was in the gym every day with my coaches. Um, I was with my strength coach, and
Yeah.
I was just working on my body. I was working on everything because I knew like this was gonna be like one of my best years. And
100%. It's paying
I can
off right now.
say, yeah, and I can just say like it didn't go. It wasn't done in vain. It ended up working out for me the best way. But like
Yeah.
I can stay up here and say that I earned it. I ain't nobody gave me nothing. I had to go out and become who I am now. So it's been good.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the best way to do it, man. Self-made and stuff. Put the work in and you get the results. And that's awesome. And then as far as, you've been putting in the work and the results are showing right now, what do you feel is your biggest strength on the court and what you bring to a team and contribute to winning?
Um, I think my biggest strength is probably something that doesn't show up on paper, but it's just that I'm able to make my teammates better around me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that comes from my unselfishness. If you ever see me play, like I think it's clear to see that I'm like
3 assists a game right now, averaging a double-double.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm every time I'm on the court, I'm the most unselfish. Like I'm never really on the court worried about myself or like trying to like get stats or score and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make the right play and like, get everybody involved. And like, if the right place for me to score, then I'm gonna score. The right place for me to pass, and I'm gonna pass. That's just how I've been. So I just think the biggest like thing that like my best strength is just I make people around me better. Um,
And that goes all the way back to your coach when you were a kid saying your IQ was
right.
advanced.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a testament to that for sure. And obviously like people look at my stats and say like, well, your best attribute might be rebounding and stuff, but I think that's the biggest thing, and I just think that the rebounding is just like icing on the cake. My versatility is icing on the cake. Me being able to guard every position, that's just icing on the cake of me being a player that's unselfish, that's just willing to, you know,
An all-around winner and player. You're an
right,
all-around player,
for
100%.
sure, for sure.
That's
So yeah,
awesome, man. That's great. And then what's been your favorite memory thus far in your long basketball career?
my favorite memory would probably be winning a state championship.
Yeah.
And it's just because I think because of how it happened. Because like when I was a freshman at Keenan, we lost in the championship, and it was like the end of the world. And I remember just working so hard to get back there. And then my sophomore year, we made it to the Final Four, but we just lost again. And I remember like that feeling of like, dang, like we got to wait a whole another year to even get back. And getting back there after going through all of that and finally reaching the mountaintop was just like the greatest feeling ever. Like that's probably my best moment of my career by far. Obviously, I mean, I played another one close behind would be probably just playing with my whole year with Sunrise. That was really dope because
Mhm.
just playing with guys like Kendall Brown and Ty and Shaden Sharp and like just being around like guys that were considered high profile, but like didn't act like it, if that makes sense. Like they went walking around like they were
They're
like,
about their work and they're humble guys.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
how they were. And that was a really good experience. Those are still my good friends today. So
That's,
yeah. So those two moments probably for sure.
that's great, man. And then outside of basketball and off the court, what are your interests? Who is Dillon Jones off the court?
Honestly, I don't say I don't do much, but I kind of am like I'm not like a party animal or nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's just not who I am. I just get my work in and come back home, do some schoolwork. If it's outside the season, I like to fish. That's like my new hobby,
Fish.
especially
Okay.
being in the South. Like I fish. Um, when I was younger, I don't really go as much now. I used to roller skate. That's big in the South.
Okay.
Um, I'm actually a really good roller skater. So I would say roller skating, fishing for sure. And I'm out here in Utah. I'm getting into like bowling. That's just something I can do.
Bowling. Okay.
Just little stuff like that. Nothing that's gonna have me, broke. But
For
it's just
sure.
gonna,
Stay productive off the court. You
yeah,
got some hobbies.
it's just fun to get me away. I'm trying to learn new things because I start to notice I was like, dang, you don't do nothing but play basketball. But
Yeah.
now I'm starting to like find new avenues and stuff to help me.
That's
So
part of being successful just in life is having outside interest because then you're more refreshed when you go to the basketball court and go to work and stuff. So
for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
I learned that a lot this past year for sure.
yeah, that's good, bro. That's good. And then my last question I'd like to end the show is what's your why? What's your motivation? And what gets you out of the bed every single day wanting to be the best Dillon Jones you could be?
Um, I would say my why is definitely my family.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm from a single parent home. I seen my mom go through a lot. I've been through a lot,
yeah,
and that's just the reason why I just keep going because I knew a lot of people spent a lot of time and money and everything investing in me, and I didn't want to go and make it to be able to say like it wasn't for nothing. I just it was for a good cause. But I'll say my why is definitely my family because I just, like I said, I see my mom go through a lot and I've been through a lot. It's only right that that's my why. Cause, um, just, I could be up here for hours telling you about everything I've been through, but
yeah.
just, I just got a good feeling that it's for a greater purpose in one day, so my mom and I got a twin sister, my brother, my grandma, like all those people, that's
Yeah,
who I do it for. Yep. So
that's
they're my
awesome, man.
it's my why.
That's awesome. Hey, that's a great reason to be successful right there, man. Family's everything at the end of the day. So,
Sure.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to get on the show, man. Continue to kill it this season. I hope to see you all in March Madness this year, win the Big Sky Conference and stuff. And if
Sure.
you get there, I know you'll make some noise.
For sure. I already know. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too.